What's going on, guys? We're going to be doing a step-by-step break-in process on some P&W boots. All right, we got a brand new pair of JKs on, wore them, maybe 10 hours over the weekend, and then yesterday threw them into the ringer. So the type of terrain that we're on out here is this. So this is what we climb up and down all day long. It's a lot of rock, dirt mix of Mexican Highland. You got timber in here. This is a burn area. So, but again, we'll be going step by step as these boots get broken in. The pain that's felt. We'll see how long it takes. I haven't really found a good video on the length of time it takes to break these in. So these are the JK Fire Inlanders. They've got a copious amount of oil on them right now, which has helped soften them up a little bit. Getting some pinch points in here, pushing on the foot, and here. They're still just tough as nails and tighter than shit. So we'll see what happens with them, but we'll try to take it step by step as we go through breaking in a pair of these P&Ws and out here in this terrain, breaking them in the hard way.
So right here, I'm wanting to show you the before pictures of these boots. This is without any oil, totally naked boot. Right when I got them home, I popped them off and took some pictures. And then we'll show the bottom of the sole as well. Shiny and brand new. And at the end, we're gonna show some pictures of how they look right now.
All right, here we are on day 3, rocking the JKs. They've been getting heavily oiled every night. No damages or anything yet. Still tight. Right now I'm getting hot spots on the soles of the feet right here, and back of the heel a little bit, and some rub spots right in here where it pushes down. It's about the same on both feet, but they are starting to break. So 3 days in, lots of lube, humping this stuff out here.
You know that video's not going to do justice.
No, I know, but just to give them an idea of the terrain that these are being used in. I mean, we're humping. You can see that road down there. So, yeah, these are the mountains we're climbing. Going up hurts pretty bad right now, because as I'm coming up, there's not a whole lot of flex in the boot, and so the heel eats a lot of the pressure. Going down feels really good because they're nice and tight and grippy. So going down, I don't really have pain except for on the balls of my feet where I'm breaking in that footbed. We'll probably do an update tomorrow or Friday. That'll be day 5. So, but yep.
So part of the daily routine that I've been doing is every night applying grease. Now I've got some Obenauf oil that I left at home. I'm up north working right now, so I went and bought some of this Huberd shoe grease. So, I mean, just gooping on gobs of this stuff into your boots and just working it into the leather to soften that leather. Seems to have been doing absolute wonders for my boots and my feet. I'm just kind of loosely applying it on here right now. And then I'm just gonna continue to work it into the leather. And these are, kind of some of my contact points that I'm wanting to soften up. I'm really wanting to soften right here to allow it to flex more for me. So these are getting lubed up, oiled up for day 4 of the break-in. Really day 5. I wore them one day over the weekend, but just around the house, never anything crazy. So day 4 of real break-in, day 5 of wearing, and we're just continuing to heavily lubricate these boots.
boots are so tight that as you're coming up the hill, it's putting all the pressure on the heel and on the top of your foot because it doesn't want to bend. The boot doesn't flex very much. So I'm almost getting numbness through the foot, mainly down by the toes because it's being pinched off from circulation. So I'm hoping as we continue climbing mountains and stuff, the leather gives in and breaks so I have more flex points. But right now, and if you do what I do, you'll experience this. It's a lot of pain, a lot of biting your teeth and just grinding it out because it is not a pleasant pain and it sucks. So be ready for that. If you're going uphill on terrain, again, downhill feels great, but uphill hurts a lot. Periodically through the day, I'll stop and retighten. I know when I was working with Nick down at the store, he let me know to make sure this bottommost part of your tongue here stays in line with your eyelets. And so my boots get loose, I'll notice that thing walks down. So I'm just gonna bring it back up, cinch these laces again, refold over my tongue leather like I did here. Fix this one already. Just to keep these things snugged up and tight so they keep breaking in correctly for me. All right, so here we are on day 4 of field wear, and I'm throwing in the towel. You can see I had to relace and do the 3-1-4 method to give myself a little bit of slack. Climbing up a pretty steep grade was really killing my feet. So mainly the heels and the balls of my feet are on fire right now. So that's why we're throwing in the towel. It's about 3 something right now in the afternoon, 3:40. I've had these things on since 5 or earlier, I don't remember. But so I'll pull these off and I'll show you where I'm hurting. So here's the boot on day 4 of field wear. No chunks missing. The reds come out. No gashes really. Throwing in the towel, throwing on some soft shoes here, some Hokas. But right now, where my feet are really killing me, let's see. Oh, you can see these calluses really just starting to work in here. But right here on the ball of my foot, this is very tender. The outside edge of my big toe is really tender as well. The rest of the toes are good, but this outer edge of this big toe is hurting pretty good. And you can see where I'm getting rub just from wearing them. The back of the heel, I don't know if you can see that. It's just tender. It's really not that bad to the touch. Luckily, I'm not getting heel slippage in there. My heel sets really nicely in the boot. The ball of my foot feels really nice. No issues there. Same with the arch. It's just for the heel. Right here is very tender right now in the outer edge. And then the top of my foot, you can see some wear here, is hurting pretty good too. So there you go. Day 4 update on the JKs. All right, so here we are Friday. Getting the Obenaufs on them now that I'm home. So it's eating. You can see this one, I just oiled up the whole boot versus a non-oiled up boot. So we're gonna keep on softening these things up. They're already eons better than they were, but we're just gonna keep stacking that stuff on. So I'm gonna keep wearing them over the weekend.
not getting the abuse that they would normally get, but we're gonna keep trying. I've also been taking this stuff and applying it on the inside. Not that you can see, but down in here, been applying it inside as well to help soften up the leather. Even on my tongue guard here, I've been applying a little bit on there, trying to soften those a little bit. But yep, there we go, Friday update. They're feeling better, but they are not there yet. Yesterday I threw in the towel after about 10 hours of wearing them because we were doing a lot of uphill climbing and my feet just hurt way too bad. But definitely softening up and getting more character after 1 week wear. So what I'm doing with this Obenauf, it comes with this little dauber, right? So we're just totally lathering the boot, and then just like if you were to be buffing and shining your shoes, t-shirt, microfiber is what I like to use, and I massage that into the leather all the way across, and you can see just how wet that is right now. I'm really drenching these things, rubbing it in, massaging it into the leather, letting that side rest, and then I'll come over here and I'll get this side, which is dry right now. So I'm gonna finish up this side here, and then we'll move to the other side. Once I do the other side, come right back to this side, do another layer, just again saturating this leather, trying to really let it open up.
All right, technically we're on day 8. I want to say 8 of wearing these boots now. And we were working the flatlands today. This is what we call flatland stuff right here. So it's not a whole lot of elevation gain or loss. Reasonably gentle terrain. And honestly, the boots have been feeling pretty good today. Haven't had a whole lot of pain. You know, the occasional tight spot while walking. They got some heavy doses of Obenaufs this weekend. Didn't even oil them up last night because there was still plenty of oil on them. I wore them during the weekend as well, but today felt pretty good. Tomorrow we'll get into some thicker stuff and we'll see if they hurt then. But day 8 update, they're feeling pretty good. I'm getting a lot more flex out of them, and they're breaking. They're starting to break. Okay, so we're on day, what did we say? 11?
I think so.
So day 11 of wearing these boots, but day 8 of wearing them in the field. We're talking minimum 10 hours a day. Most of the time it's about 12 to 14 in that terrain. I'm gonna show. So again, day 8 of humping these hills, up and down, left, right, in, out, in these boots. And then I've also worn these for 4 days at home on the weekends. And that was about 8 to 10 hours of wear, just walking around the house, walking around the store and stuff. So I'm kind of calling it right now on day 8 of workwear and day 11 or 12 of owning the boots and wearing them, oiling them, etc. They're broken. The outer leather and the rough out has broken in. I can now walk up and down these hills without grimacing in pain. There's still a couple of spots that, you know, I'm getting a little bit of soreness. And that's just mainly my feet adjusting to these leather insoles. Now the boot is broken in, but the leather insole is not. That's probably gonna take another couple weeks of wear. I can feel it starting, I can feel it as well, starting to imprint on my foot pattern, but it's not quite there yet. So that's why I'm still getting a little bit of hot spotting after a 14-hour day. But otherwise, the boot itself, I'd say these have broken in nicely. They're very comfortable to wear now, and there's lots of Obenaufs and a couple of tears. So in the battle between man and boot, man wins.
Sometimes.
Just power through, and they will break. But here we go. That's
So
it. 8 days of hardware, and they're broken.
So how many days of pure pain were there? For sure, I'd say 4.
Yeah, I'd say there was at least the first 4 days were, and that was, you know, week 1 of wearing these boots in these hills. The first 4 days were extremely painful. Day one, I was walking like I had wooden legs because it hurt to bend my foot in these boots. They were so tight. And leading up to the Thursday of that week, lots of pain still, but the boots were opening up. I was getting pain in different areas. So as one part of the boot would break in, it would go right to the next part that still needed to open up. But there was 4 days of some pretty serious pain.
And here's the final look at the boots at the end of the official break-in for me. No damages, just some scratches and scuffs and a lot of oil. So here you got it, the JK Fire Inlander. Took about 11 days, 8 of those being hard working days. Good luck.